Alright.
In this video I will talk about the changes that developers implemented in Deadfire compared to Pillars of Eternity 1. You can now have 5 party members instead of 6. Summons do not count as a party member, so you can have them next to your party members. Level cap has been raised and it now sits at 20. Big change is that you can now multi-class between two classes. I already covered that in a separate video, but overall multi-class characters can have huge variety of abilities to use, which is especially powerful considering the ability changes in the game, while single class characters can cast those same abilities at higher level. Now we have power sources and power levels. I already pretty much explained how power levels work in single class versus multi-class video. It essentially unlocks new abilities and improves existing ones by adding plus 5% per level to either duration, damage, depending on what type of ability you're using. Power sources are directly linked to ability changes. There are no more abilities per rest. Instead, you have a power source that indicates how many times you can use abilities per combat. Power sources are replenished after combat ends, so you can constantly use same abilities over and over again, fight after fight. Grimoires also work differently now. Instead of learning spells, you now switch grimoires that you want to use. So it's a good idea to have a couple of different grimoires equipped in your quick slot bar, and you can change them during the combat. Every grimoire has specific spells in it. There are spells with wizard that you learn per level, and also the ones that you can use depending on your power level from those grimoires. The amount of spells you can cast per combat depends on your power source. Empower is a new mechanic that can only be used once per combat. It has two uses. One use is to empower an ability, and only that one time that particular ability that you're using will have a power level boost. Another function of empower is to replenish half of the power sources used. So if you, for example, had 4 power sources, you've used all of them, and afterwards you use Empower on your character, 2 power sources will be replenished. As I said, Empower can only be used once per encounter, but you may have more Empower points that you can use in multiple encounters before you run out of them. They are replenished by resting. Health and injuries also work differently now. There is no more stamina, so your health pool will always be full after combat unless you've sustained an injury. You receive an injury by losing all health points during the combat. Afterwards, these injuries will give you debuffs, and if you receive 4 injuries before resting, character dies permanently. Resting can be done anywhere if the game allows it. Usually you cannot rest in cities, but you can rest everywhere else, and also you don't need any camping supplies, and from what I can understand, resting is unlimited. During resting phase you need to use food from your inventory in order to rest and to remove injuries. Food also gives you permanent buffs until you rest again, which is definitely a good boost. It's up to you how much food you got in your inventory, if you want to feed the whole party or just one person, but you need to use at least 1 piece of food for 1 person in order to rest. Next to all of this, we now have group roles for skills. Using skills in various scenarios is not only determined by your stat in that skill, but also from all party members as well. As you can see in this screen, there is party assist, which is the cumulative of the number of points that the rest of your party have in that particular skill. Items and abilities now also have noise rating. That indicates the chance of enemy groups that are further away joining the battle if you use skills that are too loud. It also helps using quiet items during sneaking. Another really important change is the penetration rating on your weapons. Penetration indicates how much actual damage will go through when you hit an opponent. If penetration score is equal or slightly above enemy's armor rating, then you're gonna do the listed damage. If penetration score is 2 times the armor rating or more, then you're gonna do 30% more damage. If penetration score is lower than the armor rating, then you're gonna do lower damage up to minus 75% depending on how weak your penetration rating is. Last thing that I will cover is the ability to change target during casting. Really welcome change for all casters out there. That would be all for this video. These are all the notable changes. There are some more minor changes, but I believe these are the most important ones. And now you're ready to kick ass in this fantastic game. Thank you all for watching and see you soon.
To concentrate. Hey, watch.